Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson on fractions. What is a fraction? A fraction is a tiny or a small part of a whole. Let's take an example of a rectangle. So this is one rectangle, right? If I try to divide this rectangle into two equal parts, and if I select one part out of it, how will we numerically represent that part? We can't say we are taking one part, right? So we have divided this into two parts. I'm taking out one part out of it. So I can write it as 1 by 2 part, which means I'm taking out exactly half of the rectangle. If I divide anything into two equal parts, that means we have one half and the other half, right? So half can be represented as 1 by 2. Then if I take the same rectangle and I divide it into three parts and select one of the parts, so it can be written as one part that I have selected divided by the number of parts, or we can call it 1/3. Okay, so this can be called as 1/3. This is half, or 1/2 we can say. So this way of representing the part of a whole is called a fraction, right? In which the number represented on the top is called the numerator and the number represented in the bottom is called the denominator. So here 3 is the denominator and 1 is the numerator. So in a fractional number, the top part is called the numerator and the bottom part is called the denominator. So denominator indicates the number of parts I have divided a thing into. So if I have divided this rectangle into three parts, the denominator indicates that I have divided it into three parts. If this rectangle has been divided into two parts, by looking at the denominator we can understand it has been divided into two parts, and then we can select the part we want to. If we were to select the whole part, it means the 1, right? If I select the entire part here, so this is 1/2, entire will make 2 by 2, that means 2 divided by 2 is 1, so it means the whole rectangle. Here also if I take all the three parts, that means 3 by 3, so 3 divided by 3 is the entire rectangle, that is 1, right? Now let's take another example to understand fractions. So here I have divided this rectangle into 5 equal parts. If I select one part out of it, it will be written as 1/5, right? Or 1 by 5 we can say. If I select two parts, it will be written as 2/5. If I select three parts, it will be written as 3/5. Four parts will be written as 4/5. And if I select the entire 5 part, it will be written as 5/5 or 5 by 5, which means 5 divided by 5, that is equal to 1 whole part. So this entire rectangle is one rectangle. Okay, so one whole is greater than its fractional part, always remember that. So here one rectangle, one whole is greater than 4 by 5, 3 by 5, 2 by 5 or 1 by 5. The fractional part will be smaller than that, individually taken. Entire part will be the whole part. Now let's understand the different types of fractions. First, we have the proper fraction. Now what is a proper fraction? So the basic property to be a proper fraction is that the numerator has to be less than the denominator. So the numerator should be less than the denominator, then the fraction will be termed as the proper fraction. If I write the fraction 1 by 2, it is a proper fraction where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. If I take 5 by 7, this is also a proper fraction because numerator is smaller than the denominator. Let's take another example, 13 by 20, 55 by 90, and so on. So here, for being a to become a proper fraction, you have to have a numerator which is smaller than the denominator. Next, improper fraction. Now what is an improper fraction? It is just the opposite of proper fraction. Here we had the numerator less than the denominator. Now in improper fraction, the numerator will be greater than the denominator. So numerator will be greater than the denominator. So we can say 13 by 7 is an improper fraction. 19 by 12 is an improper fraction. 56 by 31 is an improper fraction. 12 by 5 is an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So you understand the difference between proper and improper fraction now. So the third type of fraction is the mixed fraction. So 2 whole 1 by 3 is an example of a mixed fraction. 5 whole 2 by, let's say, 7 is an example of a mixed fraction. Now, why it is called a mixed fraction? You can see here it is consisting of two parts, right? A fractional part and an integral part. So a mixed fraction is made out of a fractional part and an integral part. Let's understand this mixed fraction with the help of a diagram. So let's take the first one. So if I draw one rectangle, so this is one whole rectangle, right? If I take another rectangle, this is one whole rectangle. So there are two whole rectangles, and then we have the fractional part, means that is not the whole rectangle, that is just a part of the rectangle. So if I take one part out of the three parts, it will be 1 by 3. So that is 1/3 of the rectangle that is remaining, right? So 1 plus 1 will give you 2, plus 1 by 3, that is 2 whole 1 by 3. So it can be written as 2 plus 1 by 3, or you can simply represent it as 2 whole 1 by 3. Just now you learnt about the improper fractions, right? The improper fraction is a result of mixed fraction. It means we can convert mixed fractions into improper fractions. Let's do the conversion. Let's convert a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So let's take an example of a mixed fraction. Let's take the example 2 whole 1 by 3. Now to convert a mixed fraction into improper fraction, we have to multiply the integral part with the denominator, and then the product will add with the numerator. So the integral part multiplied by the denominator plus the numerator whole divided by the denominator. So this formula will help you to get the improper fraction. So integral part means 2 and the denominator is 3. So 2 multiplied by 3 plus the numerator, that is 1, whole divided by the denominator itself, that is 3. So 2 times 3 will give you 6, right? 6 plus 1 by 3 and 6 plus 1 means 7. So 7 by 3. 7 by 3 is an improper fraction. Why? Because the numerator is greater than the denominator. Is that clear? So you have understood how to convert a mixed fraction into an improper fraction using this formula. Now let's convert an improper fraction into a mixed fraction. So let's write 31 by 7, which is the improper fraction. So to convert this improper fraction, we need to divide the numerator by the denominator first. So let's try to divide the numerator by the denominator. So 7 4s are 28. What will be the remainder? 3. Now the mixed fraction will consist of the quotient, the remainder and the divisor. Now you know how to represent a mixed fraction, right? We have the integral part and the fractional part. So in the integral part we will write the quotient, and then in the fractional part we will have the remainder divided by the divisor. So what is the quotient here? 4. So 4 will come in the integral part. What is the remainder? 3. So 3 will come in the numerator part of the fraction, and 7 is the divisor, it will come down. So 31 by 7, which is an improper fraction, can be converted to mixed fraction, which will be 4 whole 3 by 7. So 4 is the integral part, which is the quotient, and 3 by 7 is the fractional part, in which the numerator will be the remainder and divisor is the original denominator. So the denominator here will remain the denominator here in the fractional part. Now let's understand equivalent fractions. Let's take an example with the help of a rectangle. If I divide this rectangle into two parts and take one part out of it, it will be 1/2, that is 1 by 2. Now if I take the same rectangle and divide it into 4 parts, okay, so I'll take 2 parts here, so it will be 2 by 4. Now let's take another rectangle the same size and divide it into 8 parts. Okay, and here I'll take 4 parts out of the 8 parts. Now out of these 3 fractional numbers, or you can say the diagrams, what do you observe is common? We can see that if I divide the center part here, it is the same like the rectangle on the top, right? So if I divide it from here, it is the exact half, the same half that was divided here and the same half that was divided here. So they were the same rectangles. Only thing I did was divide them into more fractional parts. Here it was divided into only 2 parts. Here I divided them into 4 parts. Here I divided into 8 parts. So if you look at the area or the length of this part, it is the same as the length of this part and the same the length of this part. So we can say this half is equal to this 2/4 and this 2/4 is equal to this 4/8 or 4/8. Now these fractions are termed as equivalent fractions because they are the same fractions. Okay, so let's understand this. 1/2 can be changed into 2/4 and 1/2 can also be changed into 4/8. So these 3 fractions here that I have written are the example of equivalent fractions. Okay, now we can convert any fraction into equivalent fractions. So here with the help of the diagram we understood that the equivalent fraction of 1/2 will be 2/4 and equivalent fraction of 2/4 is 4/8. Now every time you cannot draw a picture and divide number of parts and understand which will be the equivalent fraction of a given fraction. So there is an operation of multiplication and division which you can apply both to the numerator and the denominator of a number to convert it into its equivalent fraction. Let's say take this example 1/2. So if I multiply 2 with the numerator and 2 with the denominator, we see the result will be 2 1s are 2 and 2 2s are 4. Is exactly the same like this, right? So 1/2 is converted into 2/4. So 2/4 is an equivalent fraction of 1/2. Now 1/2 can also be converted to 4/8. If I write 1/2, now you have to multiply the numerator and the denominator both by the same number. So 1 can be multiplied by 4 and 2 will also be multiplied by 4. So 4 1s are 4 and 4 2s are 8. So here again we have converted 1/2 into 4/8. So 4/8 is the equivalent fraction of 1/2. Now we can have many infinite or you can say unlimited number of equivalent fractions of a given fraction. Now we can even find equivalent fractions by dividing. So let's take 4/8 here. So if I have to find an equivalent fraction of this by dividing, so let's divide 4 by 2 and let's divide 8 also by 2. So if you divide the numerator by something, you have to divide the denominator also with the same number. So 4 divided by 2 will give you 2 and 8 divided by 2 will give you 4. So the equivalent fraction of 4/8 will be 2/4, isn't it? 2/4, 4/8 and all are same, no? All are equivalent fractions. So let's divide each of them by 4 and 4. So 4 divided by 4 gives you 1 and 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. So here again you see that 4/8 is converted to its equivalent fraction, that is 1/2, right? 1/2 is equal to 4/8, 1/2 is equal to 2/4. So you can convert any fraction into its equivalent fraction either by multiplying or dividing. So here we see that the value of the fraction is not being changed. It is still the same. Only thing we are multiplying the numerator and the denominator or dividing the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Let's say a fraction a by b is equivalent to a fraction c by d. In such a case, if I multiply the numerator of the first fraction by the denominator of the second fraction and the numerator of the second fraction by the denominator of the first fraction, we will find out that the product will be equal. So AD will be equal to CB. Let's take the previous example. We knew that 1 by 2 was equivalent to 2 by 4, right? And it was also equivalent to 4 by 8. So if it is equivalent, means this property will also be true. Let's check. So if I multiply the numerator of the first by the denominator of the second, 1 into 4, and the numerator of the second multiplied by the denominator of the first, the result should be the same. So 1 multiplied by 4 will give you 4, and 2 to the 4, right? So it means these two fractions are equivalent fractions. Similarly, we can check these two fractions as well, or these two fractions, whether they are equivalent or not. So let's take these two fractions now and check whether they are equivalent or not. So we'll multiply the numerator of the first by the denominator of the second, and we'll multiply the numerator of the second by the denominator of the first and see whether the result is the same or not. So 2 8s are 16, 4 4s are 16. Both are equal. It means 2 by 4 and 4 by 8 are equivalent fractions. So with the help of this property, you can prove whether two fractions that are given are equivalent or not. Let's take another example. Check whether 3 by 7 is equivalent to 9 by 21 or not. So here they are asking us to check whether these two fractions are equivalent or not. So we learned the property that if I multiply the numerator of the first fraction by the denominator of the second fraction and the numerator of the second fraction by the denominator of the first fraction, the product should be the same, should be equal. So let's try it out. So 3 by 7 and 9 by 21. So let's multiply the numerator by the denominator of the second and the numerator of the second by the denominator of the first. So 3 21s are 63 and 7 9s are 63. Both are the same, right? So it means these two fractions are equivalent fractions. So we can say, therefore 3 by 7 is equal to 9 by 21. Sometimes you may be asked to fill in the blanks when the two fractions are said to be equivalent. So here it is given that these two fractions are equivalent fractions. So using the same property, you can find out the missing places. Let's assume that the numerator here be x. So we can change the places as well. So we can write x by 21, 2 by 3. So we are just arranging the place. So here if I cross multiply on both sides, if I multiply this numerator by this denominator, it will be 3x. If I multiply this numerator by this denominator, it will be 2 into 21. But we have to find the value of x. So it's better we make x the subject of the formula. So leave x as it is. We'll cross multiply here. We'll multiply 21 on both sides, or we can simply transpose 21 to the numerator on the other side. That is 2 into 21 whole divided by 3. So 3 will remain here. Now we have made x the subject of the formula. We can find the value of x. So 3 1s are 3 and 3 7s are 21. Now we are left with 2 and 7. So 2 7s are 14. So what is the value of x? 14. Okay, so here the numerator will be 14. Now let's understand like fractions and unlike fractions. Now what are like fractions? Fractions having the same denominator are called the like fractions, and fractions which do not have the same denominator are called unlike fractions. So 2 by 7, 5 by 7, 3 by 7 or 1 by 7, all these fractions have 7 as the denominator. So these fractions are the like fractions. Now in unlike fractions, the denominators will be different. So if we have 2 by 3 here, we can have 4 by 5, 7 by 9, 13 by 15. So here you observe that the denominators are not the same. So it means these are unlike fractions. There is a way to convert any unlike fraction into like fractions. So let's take 2 by 3 and 4 by 5 and convert them into like fractions, meaning they will have the same denominators. So 2 by 3 and 4 by 5, how can we convert them into a like fraction? The first step will be to find the LCM of the denominators of these two fractions. So if 3 and 5 is given as a denominator, what will the LCM be? Now you see there is no number that can divide the two numbers, so it means 3 and 5 itself is the factor here. So 3 multiplied by 5, LCM is equal to 3 multiplied by 5, that is equal to 15. So 15 is the LCM. Okay, now it means that the smallest number that can be brought about as a multiple of these two denominators is 15, isn't it? So we can convert the denominators into the LCM. How will we do that? By finding a number that can be multiplied to the first denominator to make it 15. Now how will we find that number? We will divide the LCM by the denominator and see. So here what is the denominator? 3. So what is the number that I should multiply by 3 to get 15? We know that is 5. But in case of a bigger number, what you can do, we can divide the LCM by the denominator 3. So 15 divided by 3 will give you 5. So the number that can be multiplied to 3 will be 5 to get 15. So 3 multiplied by 5 will give you 15. Now what number can be multiplied by 5 to make it 15? We know that is 3. But if it is a bigger number, what will we do? We will divide the LCM by the denominator. Okay, so 15 divided by 5, that is 5, 3 is a 15. So the number that should be multiplied to 5 is 3. So 5 multiplied by 3 will give you 15. Okay, now if you simply write 2 here, the value of the fraction will change. So the fractional value should not change, it should remain the same. Earlier I told you that if you multiply something to the denominator or the numerator, both should be multiplied, right, in the numerator as well as the denominator. If you multiply something to the numerator, you should multiply the same with the denominator. If you multiply anything with the denominator, you will multiply the same with the numerator. Or if you divide something, you have to divide with both. So here 2 also will be multiplied by 5 so that the value of the fraction remains the same. So here 4 will be multiplied by 3. Okay, so 2 5s are 10, 3 5s are 15. and here 4 3s are 12 and 5 3s are 15. So now if you observe these two fractions, they have turned into like fractions because they have the same denominators. Clear? So this way you can convert any unlike fraction into a like fraction. Comparison of fractions. Now in like fractions, it is very easy to compare which fraction is greater or which is smaller. So let's take an example, 2 by 5 and 3 by 5. So these are the examples of like fractions, right? So in like fractions, just by looking at the numerator, we can identify which fraction is greater. So here, if I ask you to compare 2 by 5 and 3 by 5 or 2/5 or 3/5, you will see that 3/5 is greater than 2/5, right? So whenever you have a like fraction, the comparison is very easy. So if we have, let's say 3 by 7 and 1 by 7, so the denominator is same, means it is a like fraction. You have to look in the numerator part. So here 3 is greater than 1, so 3/7 is greater than 1/7. Okay, let's take another example. So 15 by 40 and 23 by 40. So again it is a case of like fraction. So just look at the numerator, 23 is greater than 15, so 23 by 40 is greater than 15 by 40. Now let's understand the comparison in case of like unlike fractions. Now in unlike fractions, you cannot compare two fractions easily. So if we have 2 by 3 and 4 by 5, it is not possible to compare because the fractional part is not the same. Okay, the number of parts of it has been divided into is not the same. So here it is divided into 3 parts and here it is divided into 5 parts. So they are not the same. So it means to compare two fractions, we need to convert them into like fractions. Now you know how to convert any unlike fraction into like fractions, right? So we can apply the same here, but mentally we can identify which fraction will be the greatest by simply multiplying the numerator of the first and denominator of the second, and the numerator of the second by the denominator of the first. So if I multiply 2 times 5, it will give us 10, right? So and 3 times 4 will give us 12. So which one is greater, 10 or 12? Obviously 12. So it means 4 by 5 is greater than 2 by 3. So let's convert this into a like fraction. So when we convert this into a like fraction, what do? We find the LCM. So LCM will be what? 3 and 5 means LCM will be 15, right? 3 5s are 15. Now converting this fraction into with the denominator 15. So 3 multiplied by 5 will give you 15. So it means what will you multiply in the numerator? 5. And to change 5 into 15, you have to multiply 3. And you'll multiply the same with the numerator. So 2 5s are 10, 3 5s are 15, 4 3s are 12, and 5 3s are 15. So which one is greater? Obviously 12 by 15 when you see the denominators are same, right? So you will write the original fraction. So you have found out that 12 by 15 is greater than 10 by 15, but you have to write the original fraction. So what is the original fraction? 2 by 3, right? So 2 by 3 is less than 4 by 5, or we can say 4 by 5 is greater than 2 by 3. So the shortcut method was actually finding the numerators instead of the denominators. So if you had multiplied the denominators as well, you would have got 15, 15. So mentally we can exclude the denominator part and just multiply the numerator of the first by the denominator of the second. 2 5s are 10, and here 4 3s are 12. So which one is greater? 12. So before working out and changing it into like fractions, mentally you can find out which fraction is greater. That's all for today's lesson. Thank you.